Minister, at the outset here, I'd like to thank all the groups from Donegal, Sligo, Mayo, Clare and Limerick. And if you look up there, you're going to see the gallery full. It's a long time since we've seen it as full as that. And I hope you take heed to that for the amount of work that those people put in. And also to all the colleagues of mine on the Housing Committee that have spent long hours in debating this with your departments. And the disgust that I have that your department were too afraid to sit down with me for another 6 hours with my colleagues to go through a proper debate on real housing costs in this country for the people that are in the gallery and all the people that are in this country. The amendments that I have put in were ruled out of order on the basis that of the cost to the Exchequer. And I'm just going to touch very, very vaguely on one of them from the point of view of foundations in the bill that's here in front of us. In the 1970s, 80s and 90s, foundations were put in at the maximum of 20 Newton concrete. And at the time, if you hadn't the proper machinery, the lorry driver could have added an extra drop of water in, which would have reduced your foundations to 15 Newton. But today, any foundations that go in at the moment are at 30 Newton. And you want us to rebuild houses on foundations at 10 to 15 Newton less than what they're being put in at the moment by competent engineers around this country. That's what you're telling these people. Let's rebuild on top of something that is completely out of context at the moment from the point of view of strength that engineers at this present moment are asking us to put into. That's what you're asking us to do. That is not saving the Exchequer money, because what you could have in a number of years' time is that the foundations you've asked them to build on will probably be structurally unsound because of all the interference and the structural work that has to be done on top of them at the moment. And what are we going to do? Go back and rebuild them? I've asked for core testing to be done before any retrofit is done to any property in this country to ensure that we have a full prognosis of the amount of houses that are suffering from pyrite. Again, you've ruled that out of order. But it's common sense that we spend about €1,500 in core testing houses to save the Exchequer money into the future than retrofitting the houses, and then we have to knock them afterwards. And after you spend more taxpayers' money on retrofitting houses, and then we'll have to knock them down because it's not cost effective. Engineers to test foundations at the moment is €5,000. To replace the foundation is about 8,000. Common sense means let's get them tested, remove the foundations, otherwise it's going to turn into 13,000. So, Minister, look up at these people and remember them, because they have relations all around the country. It's not only the people from pyrite in this country are affected, but it's every family. And all I can say is my disgust that you would not sit down, even though our Housing Committee had asked you, and we would stay day and night to discuss this to make sure that it would come in, but you would not take the experience from a building contractor, which I'm in the buildings since late 80s, and I've given you building experience, which none of your department could answer on the day we debated it. Only saying, sorry, that's out of my remit, it's not in my department, it's somebody else's department. That's all we got around in circles. You wouldn't take real live, common sense, real live building experience from a person. And I'm not sure I'm the only contractor, and I'm a blocklayer by trade, so I understand blocks. And you wouldn't take the advice from the likes of me and my colleagues that have fought for this to make sure we got the right redress for these people and their families and the next generation. All I can say, Minister, is shame on you if you put this through on a guillotine without putting in the proper amendments and corrections which we offered to help you with. Thank you.